Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about what I read in January, plus I have a little book haul as well, which I'm so excited for. So most of what I read was actually on my Kindle this month, but I am going to go through everything. First, I read Hot House Flower. This is the second book in the Calloway Sisters, but the fifth book in the Addicted/Calloway series, so if you read them together. I love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I loved Reich and Daisy. It was so much fun. It is the youngest Calloway Daisy's story with a boy named Reich. It is age gapped. It is kind of like damsel in distress kind of thing, but Daisy is still very strong and her own woman. But there is some stuff going on that Reich kind of protects her from. It is so good. So good. I loved it. I totally recommend this series because it's a good one. I don't want to give you too much because it is in the middle of the series, so I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it was really good. It was, I think, my favorite in the series so far. So good. Then on my Kindle, I read the second Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I gave this a 4 out of 5. I liked it better than the first one, and I am going to keep going with the series. This is the only one I read this month, though. It was super good. If you don't know what Harry Potter is, it's a wizard, a very young wizard that goes to this school that is for wizards. Well, he doesn't know he's a wizard, and then he finds out, and then he goes to the school. So this is the second book, and it was him dealing with another threat type thing. I liked it a lot. I liked it more than the first one. It just kept me entertained the whole time. Maybe it was the world building in the first one that just didn't do it for me, but I really enjoyed it. 4 out of 5. Then I read What If We Healed Together? This is by Luna Wrights. I saw this on TikTok. I saw her come across my page and say, like, I wrote this book, and whenever I see that, I add it to my TBR, and this was on Kindle Unlimited, so I decided to try it. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was a short little romance about two people that are struggling with their own problems. They kind of come together. It's sweet, but nothing special in my opinion. I hate talking bad about stuff like this. I hate talking bad about it because I think this was her debut. It just wasn't crazy to me, and it was really short and easy to read, and I didn't mind it, so I gave it a 3, but nothing special in my opinion. Then I started the Cinder series by Marissa Meyer. This series is about a cyborg who, my cats, they like each other, I promise. Just one of them doesn't really understand playing, and the other one tries to play with her all the time. Anyway, so Cinder is a cyborg and is a mechanic. And she's kind of just going about her daily life as a mechanic, and there's this plague going around that she's like hiding from, and she kind of just gets tied up in this whole thing with the prince and the plague, and there's a lunar. Lunars are people who live on the moon, and they're kind of trying to take over Earth, so it's kind of like all about that and how she's tied into it, and it is a Cinderella reimagining. I really enjoyed this. I gave it a 3 out of 5 though, because I wasn't hooked till the end. Right after Cinder, I jumped in it to Scarlet, which is a Red Riding Hood reimagining about a girl named Scarlet who is on this farm with her grandma, and her grandma disappears, so she's trying to find her. And then Cinder's story is also interconnected with all of it, so you get both sides. I loved Scarlet. Scarlet and Wolf, which is the love interest, each of the books, the girls that are the main characters have a love interest. So Kai is Cinder's, which is the prince of New Beijing, which is where she lives. And then Scarlet's is Wolf, and their love story, Oh my gosh, I loved it. This is where I got connected because I like Cinder and I like Kai, but I didn't feel that connection as much to them. But Scarlet and Wolf, I loved them. I loved them so much. So that was the second book that I gave a 4 out of 5 because I really liked it, but it didn't give me that 5-star feeling. Then I read, in my attempt for a 24-hour readathon, I read The Art of Racing in the Rain. I gave this a 3 out of 5. This is about a race car driver, but it's in his dog's point of view, and it's just kind of about the dog watching this family grow. He starts out with this race car driver that doesn't have a family, and then he gets married, has a kid, like a bunch of stuff happens. So it's the dog's point of view, which is very interesting. However, I was so bored during this, and I was so sad because I've heard amazing things from it, and I can see that it's like a good book. It has like a good message to it, but I just got so bored. So 3 out of 5, sorry. Then I went to The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. This is her memoir, and I don't want to rate memoirs because I just feel weird kind of rating someone's life story. I have rated them in the past, however, I'm not going to anymore. I do want to say this is not the best written memoir I've ever read. This isn't my favorite memoir I've ever read. However, I thought it was very interesting and very interesting to hear about Britney Spears' life. I didn't know a lot of the things, so yeah, it was just crazy to hear about her life and her perspective of everything that went on, because I know you heard about the conservatorship, is that what it's called? The conservationship that she was in with her dad. Crazy, but she stayed so positive, so I thought that was a beautiful thing to hear from her story about how much crap she's went through, but stayed really positive throughout all of it. So yeah, Britney Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me. Then I read The Diary of an Oxygen Thief. This book sucked. I gave this a 2 out of 5. This book is about a man who likes mentally messing with women, and then he kind of gets karma. 2 out of 5. It was really small. I didn't like it. I'm donating it. No. I don't want to see this book anymore. I hated it. Then I went back into the Cinder series because, well, it's called the Lunar Chronicles. I went back into the Lunar Chronicles because I was missing it, and I read Crest, which is a Rapunzel reimagining. It is about Crest, who is a lunar who gets taken away, and she's like stored outside of Lunar in like her own little spacecraft, away from everyone else, and she has barely any contact with people. She's really good with technology, so she like tracked Cinder and could find Cinder and stuff like that. Anyway, so she gets in contact with Cinder, and it's kind of her connecting with Cinder and that group, and then she kind of starts having a love story with Thorn, which you meet in the second book, and I love them so much. I don't know if I think Crest and Thorn are my favorite. I think so, because it's Scarlet and Wolf or Crest and Thorn, because oh my gosh, they're so good. So I read that. I rated that a 4 out of 5. I think this one might have been my favorite so far. I think it is my favorite because oh my gosh, it's so good. I can't talk too much about this one because this one is more into the series, and like I don't want to give spoilers. And then I read Fairest, which is it's like 200 pages long, so I wouldn't call it a novella, but it is a like spin-off of the series that talks about the Lunar Queen that's kind of trying to take over New Beijing. And she's kind of the bad guy that they're going up against, I would say. It was interesting seeing her side of the story, but it was also really hard to listen to because she is like not a good person. But you kind of see like why she turned out that way. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because it was interesting, but I didn't really love it. And now I'm on Winter, which is the last one of the series that is kind of a Snow White. It's Snow White, so her love interest is Jason, which you meet in the third book. Winter is the princess of Lunar, so her stepmother is the bad guy. It's really good so far. I'm not getting the 5-star feeling, but I am getting a 4-star, and I think I'm going to finish it. What day is it? It's the 29th when I'm filming this, so I have 2 more days, and I think I definitely will. I'm like 65% through, so I think I will finish it before the end of the month, and if I change my mind, I'll edit, but I think it's going to be a 4-star, but I'm really liking it, and I really love the series. The Lunar Chronicles is young adult, however, I don't really love young adult, but I really like this series, and I think it's because I like young adult fantasy, but I don't love young adult romance, but I like the fantasy aspect in it. So yeah, I really liked it. I don't think it's too childish, and it's on Kindle Unlimited if you have Kindle Unlimited. Now, those are the books I've read in January. So I'm going to shortly tell you about these books that I just bought that I didn't need, but I did buy. So I went on vacation with my boyfriend's family, or my fiance's family. Whoa, he's my fiance now. I went on vacation with my fiance's family, and we went to Saugatuck, Michigan, in like Holland area, if you've ever been there. I've never been there before, but we went, and we went shopping. So first, I found Lord of the Flies. I found this at the Book Nook of Saugatuck. It is on Butler Street, which is like the main little downtown street. And I got, it has new books plus used books. So I got Lord of the Flies, which you might be like, what, Audrey? That's not your reading style. No, it's not, but I read it in high school and I actually really enjoyed it. Weird enough, like I loved picking apart all the meanings inside of it. So I wanted to get it because it was only like $5. So I wanted to get it to do a reread. Then I went to Reader's World in Holland on River Ave, which is like, again, like one of the main streets. And I got Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is a young adult romance, no, well, it might be a romantasy, but young adult fantasy. I think it does have romance in it too. About a girl who has like death following her, I believe, which death is actually a person. Yes. Which I'm so excited to read. I've heard mixed reviews of people loving it and people not liking it, but I think it's kind of the gothic romance feel, which is what I got from Two Twisted Crowns, but I meant One Dark Window. And I really love One Dark Window. You know, I don't shut up about it. So I'm hoping to get those feelings from this book as well. And this does have a second book. I think it's called Foxglove, which I saw there, but I didn't buy it because I want to read this first and make sure I like it. And I also got The Bodyguard by Catherine Cinder from that. This is a romance, but it is closed door, which means there's no spicy scenes. And it's the girl that's the bodyguard, and she is the bodyguard for this guy. He has to go back to his hometown, but he doesn't want his mother to know that she's a bodyguard because he doesn't want his mother to like freak out, be like, oh my gosh, you need a bodyguard, like, are you in danger type thing. So they pretend to fake date, which I think is so cute, and I've heard so many good things about this, so I'm really excited. And then I went to, in Saugatuck, there is an antique mall. I don't know the actual address, but I found some used books there. So I found Later by Stephen King, which I've never heard about, but it looked really interesting. I love this type, like this cover, I mean. It seems really interesting. It's about a single mother and her child has like powers or something like that. I don't know, looked really interesting, and it's not as long as his other books, so maybe I'll start with this one by him. And then I want to get into memoirs this year because I think they're just so powerful and so interesting, and you can learn so much about other people's lives. So I got this one, which is Everything is Horrible and Wonderful. It's a tragic comedy memoir of a genius heroine, love, and loss by Stephanie Whittles watch. I think I said that wrong. And I don't know, just like the cover drew me to it, like about genius, heroine, love, and loss. I thought that was interesting. And look at this picture. Like a little baby kissing a, sorry, focus. A little baby kissing a little creepy clown doll. Drew me in. So I've never heard of this person, but it sounds really interesting. So I want to read that. And then I also got this one, which I haven't heard of either. It's by Elizabeth Wurtzel. And it says, a memoir, Prozac Nation, Young and Depressed in America. And Prozac, if you don't know what that is, it is a anxiety drug. I think it also helps with depression. Yeah, I think it is depression in this one's case. And I just think it's very interesting to learn about that. I am someone who struggles with anxiety, and I have a lot of people in my life that struggle with anxiety and depression, so I thought it would be interesting to read this. So those are the 6 books I recently bought and my January reads, and I'll see you guys in February. Bye!